Hi guys, let's talk about some integration techniques that we usually use when finding the integral. So, some questions we want to ask when we're finding the integral of a problem is, can we do this directly? Can we use basic trig rules? Can we use algebra? Or can we use u sub, right? And if our answer is no to all of these, then we gotta do another method. But there's some more methods that we could use. So let's have a look at some of those methods in this video today. Okay, so first method is our integration by parts method. So this method is one of those methods that you'll have fun doing, hopefully. So this method is where, as you can see, by parts, right? So we are gonna suppose we're gonna let u and v, these two letters, u and v, be differentiable. Okay, be differentiable so that you could take the derivative basically. Okay, then the integral of u dv equals uv uv. Please write this down, this formula down if it's going to be helpful for you, because this is the what our problems are going to look like. So this formula is the main part of integration by parts. We're using this a lot. So there, under this, we have two main methods that we're going to talk about. Two main types of methods. One is the ILATE method, and the other is the tabular method. Okay, so so what you want to know from this formula is that you got to figure out if a problem has a UDV form, if it's in the form of a UDV. Okay, so let's work on the problem to see what this actually looks like. Okay, so our first problem, find the integral of xe to the x dx. Okay, so as you can see, this has the form u dv, right? So what we could do is let we're gonna first use this method, the ILATE method. The ILATE method, what does it stand for? It stands for inverse trig logs algebra trig and exponential. Okay, so this is gonna help us. What are these things mean? It means that it's gonna help us find the u in our formula. So let's write down our formula over here. U dv equals uv minus v du. Okay, so our first thing what we got to figure out is what could be our u. Okay, our u in this case is going to be x. Why? Remember, so when we're finding the u, the inverse trig is going to have the first place. So that's going to be our first choice. Logs is going to be our second choice, algebra is going to be our third, fourth choice, and trig is going to be fifth, and fourth, and exponential is going to be fifth. So as you can see, algebra is third place, and that comes before exponential, which is fifth place. We see that x is algebra, and e to the x, that's an exponential, right? So that is why we choose u equals to x. And if we take the du of this, we got to write down the du also. So the du is of x is 1. The derivative of x is 1. Now we also got to figure out what is dv in our problem. So the dv is going to be e to the x. Okay, now if we take the integral of this, remember we're going from dv to v, so that means we're finding the integral. If we go from u to du, it means we're finding the derivative. So from dv to v, we're finding the integral. The integral of e to the x is just e to the x. Okay, now it's time to plug things in. Okay, so let's plug things in. So x e to the x dx is equal to, so what did we say our u was? We said it was x. What did we say v was? We said e to the x minus the integral. What did we say our v was? E to the x. And what did we say our du was? We said that was 1. Okay. Now we know the integral of e to the x is going to be e to the x plus c. Remember, it's an indefinite integral, and that's our answer. So it's like putting a puzzle into pieces. Puzzle pieces together. That's what this integration by parts is. And as it gets kind of complex, it will get kind of challenging, but it's fun when you get to the right answer. Okay, so now let's have a look at another problem, but this one involves trig. Okay, let's have a look at this. So integral of x sine x. Pause the video if you need to and give it a shot. Okay, now that you're back, let's figure out what the u is. Again, if we do our ILATE method, algebra comes before trig, right? So that's why we're going to let u equal to x, du equal to 1. dv, on the other hand, we're going to let it equal to sine of x. And v, the integral of sine of x is what? Cosine of x. Okay, now let's plug it in to our formula is equal to uv, so x times cosine of x minus, let me write down the formula over here, uv minus v du. Okay, uv minus, what is our v? Cosine of x, what is our du? That's going to be 1. Okay, so answer is going to be, we know the integral of cosine of x is going to be sine of x. Okay, and then we're going to put the plus c also. That is our final answer. So now let's try solving it. We could try solving another. Let's have a look at a definite integral using this method. So the integral from 1 to 2 in absolute value of natural log of x dx. So here we have these two. We have two options, dx and x. Okay, so if we look at ILATE, the two options we have, natural log, that comes under logs, right? So we could definitely go with that as our u. Okay, because that comes before dx, which is algebra. Okay, so u equal to ln of x du. We know derivative of ln of x is 1 over x, right? And dv is going to be equal to dx, and v is going to be equal to x. Now let's plug that into our formula, but we gotta be careful. It's a definite integral this time. Okay, of ln of x dx equals to uv. So ln of x times x uv minus, remember, I'm going to write the formula one more. The more you write the formula in your problem, the more you're gonna it's gonna be easier for you to memorize this formula. Okay, uv minus v du. Remember, we're defining a definite integral. Okay, so x's cross out. This is gonna give us ln of x times x minus the integral. What is the integral of 1? That's just going to be x, right? But now we're doing it from 1 to 2. Okay. And now this is going to be equal to ln of x minus, we're going to do 2 minus 1. And this is going to be equal to, and remember, we also need the bounds for the non-integral too. So we're going to have the integral Well, we gotta figure out, we gotta do the integral for the whole thing, not just for x. Okay, so it's gonna be ln of 2 times 2 minus 2 if we plug in the 2. Okay, since we figure out the integral over here, minus ln of 1 times 1 minus 1. Okay, so we would generally want a constant in the front, so 2 ln of 2 minus 2 minus, we know that ln of 1 is just going to be 0. 0 times 1 is 0, and the minus 0 minus 1, that's just going to give us minus 1. And our final answer is going to be 2 ln of 2 minus 1. Alrighty, that is, oh, we got to, yeah, that is going to be our final answer. If you do have any questions, please put that in the comments. In the next video, we're going to go over the tabular method that we talked about in the top. All right, thank you so much. Please, if you like, please like and share and subscribe. Thank you.